came on. Oops.
We are live. People pop in, it's going to be so odd because Daniela's on tonight. Because she'll pop in, she'll say hi.
I'm always behind the scenes.
You're right.
I love it though. It's like a new thing for Thomas. He's so just like, oh my gosh. Like,
I need to watch your live with Thomas. Was it live or was it just a regular?
It's live, but it's every Tuesday. It's called Tucker Talks. And he actually has his own YouTube channels, but he was hesitant about talking reselling. So
I enjoy it.
Watch that.
He actually revealed to me the first time that he was nervous. I'm like, I'm your wife.
Really?
Yeah, he did. He sat in the car for like this is all taping. He sat in the car for like 20 minutes, like sending messages to all his family saying, I'm going to be on with my wife. And then and I haven't met a lot of them. And so when we were done, they were starting sending him messages back like, man, your wife is like awesome. Wow. Yeah. And a couple of them were like, I didn't even tell people because I didn't know. Like, so he was like, oh, would you thought she was going to be ghetto? Because they never met me. So it looks like some people are on. Hey, friends. Hey,
no.
Hey, everyone.
Riches, Restyle Secrets. Hey, Lily.
Hi, Lily.
What's going on? Welcome to A Reseller's Passion YouTube channel. I am on today with absolutely two of my favorite people. And I brag about the fact that I've met them in person. Like, I am so humbled by the fact that I know them. Daniela and Lori. So
hey everyone. Hi Tracy.
Hey. My margaritas. That's a really good name right there.
Yeah, seriously. I can even margarita right now.
Hey Tracy, how you doing? So as we're going through the conversation, if you have any questions for the ladies, just put them in the comments. I'll highlight them. And the ladies, if they see any questions, if you see any questions, you can answer. Of course, we're going to be casual because we're friends here. This is not an interview. It's probably
our first rodeo with the three of us.
Not at all.
Definitely. We've been podcasting and doing all kinds of stuff. And I can't wait to get into that stuff because it's like blowing my mind. Like we didn't know each other. Now we know each other. And you two know each other. And so it's like really blowing my mind, the awesomeness of us all. So I'm going to start off with Daniela. For people who don't know who you are, which is like so impossible to believe.
I mean, everyone should know who I am at this point.
Seriously, come on. All of us. So tell everybody a little bit about who you are and your reselling journey and what's going on with you right now.
Okay, so I'm Daniela. I am from Rhode Island. I am a New England gal through and through, accent and all, as many of you would know from my podcast and my YouTube videos. So I have been reselling since I was about 16 years old. Seriously, for the last year now, I sell on Poshmark and eBay. I do consign with the Real as well, and I do a little bit of ThreadUp stuff as of lately, given the times that we're in. I've kind of changed things up. So that's what I do. I have a YouTube channel now. That's new. I now have 4 videos.
Subscribe.
Yes, like and subscribe, please.
Yeah, definitely.
And then I have a podcast with Lori, which is Thrifters Villa. So that's been really fun. We're doing that since the end of December 1st, right? Yeah, we're on the 20th episode, which is crazy.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and that's been so much fun. I don't know. What else to say? I have 2 cats, which you'll see in every single YouTube video. I work for the state as well. So I am an essential worker, and things are a little crazy right now. So I literally got home from work maybe about 40 minutes ago, and I have
Well,
what a trooper.
She's spending time with us really humbles me seriously that she's been working like crazy too, crazy hours. So
7 days a week.
Yeah. So we love our essential workers and we appreciate them so much, even though they may not feel it. I'm sending love to everyone. So Lori, tell everyone about yourself.
Well, hi, everyone. Thanks for having me tonight, Leslie. So I am primarily on Poshmark, and I have a YouTube channel. It's just Lori Tata. I haven't managed to switch that over yet to Lori's Boston Found. I do sell primarily on Poshmark. I have a website, but that's very slow going. Getting that going is a lot of work. But I do some direct sales, and I just recently started doing some closet consultations, which has been really fun and eye-opening. And I've met some incredible women, and I've really humbled, just really excited to talk to people. And it's been nice to hear people's stories during this time, especially people looking to make the jump, who may be out of work or just found out they were laid off and want to know like the possibilities in reselling. And it's pretty exciting because the possibilities are endless here. And I love to see the direction people are taking. And I'm just so grateful for especially my New England tribe. And I include you in that tribe, Leslie, because if it weren't for you, I wouldn't have met anybody, because Leslie came out prior to me meeting anybody. I had been on YouTube for, I don't know, half a year maybe when we met, maybe a little bit longer. And you were the reason that I met all of these people from New England, and Daniela was our connection, and I almost couldn't go. And now I think of all the people who I met there, and I'm just so grateful for, and that was kind of the beginning of really digging in with the community for me.
Yeah, and that's what I really like about the community, our connection. So for people who don't know, yes, I met Daniela. She reached out to me. She can probably tell that. Look, I can't remember because we're friends now.
You know, it was an Instagram Live, and I just kind of popped on, and that was really it. And I was just kind of, I need to message her just because I was so new, and it was just the things you were saying at the time really resonated with me. So that was how that relationship kind of started. And then same with Lori. I watched Lori's YouTube videos, and then same thing, messaged her on Instagram, was like, hey, I'm local to you too. And then just kind of went from there.
Yeah. Then Daniela sent me a message and asked me if I knew who Lori was. And I said I didn't, but then I quickly found out, and I decided to start taking my podcast on the road. This pandemic is making me sad because I can't get anywhere. But I started to take my podcast on the road, and because I had connection in the Boston area, which Daniela and Nicole and
Katie, who's here.
I didn't even know Lizette at the time. So Lizette came in later, and then when I started reaching out for people who lived in Boston, in the area, that's how I met Lizette. But I only knew Daniela, Nicole, is it Colette, and Casey from Change of Season. I met Nicole and Casey in real life. So I knew I had a connection, and I try to travel places where I have a foundation. And so it just worked out. I put a message out, and people were like, yeah, I live in the area. And not only that they lived in the area, but people actually drove. Like Daniela drove. Like people drove. Massachusetts isn't just Boston, you know? So it's a humbling experience of it. And we all came together. It wasn't a posh and sip. It was a meet and greet, a gathering. And that's how you build a community, that you bring people together who otherwise don't know each other. And then when you leave, you formed a community where they can reach out to each other and now take that further. So you've got Daniela and Jen doing some things, and you've got Lori and Daniela doing some things. So that's the connection that keeps on going. And that's what it's all about for me. I get nothing from it but love. And these two women who have given it to me freely. So that's why I love having them on. Daniela's been working like crazy. She's always working. I love her energy. And one of the things that resonated with Daniela for me is she did reach out to me. That I remember. I don't know how long ago it was. It just seems like it was so long ago.
Maybe a
year. It was a little bit before that, I think.
I want to say it was like May, June, around
a year. So it's been a year. Is that something? That's crazy. That's crazy. And I didn't even hit Massachusetts until November. So I literally did that in 6 weeks' time. Planned it and then implemented everything in 6 weeks. But like Daniela, it was just the things that she was talking about. I can already see where she was and how she says what I was saying resonated. I could hear it in her voice that she was already coming up with a plan and trying to figure out which direction she wanted her business to go in. And to see how much has grown, I'm going to cry.
Don't cry. You make me cry.
I can't. It's like one emotional, but then I'm hormonal. You know, I mean, it's like it's the perimenopausal thing. It's 50, you know? And so it just comes on because it is emotional. But I saw the person that Daniela was already, and then she was going and she loves her family. And then now in the business, the business part was coming out of her, and then we became friends, and now we text each other. She'll ask me questions and things like that. Then she came on the podcast, and I said to her, you need to start a podcast. You know, she flipped the script on me and interviewed me on my own podcast, and the deal was sealed. I was like, yeah, you have to start your own podcast. You have to start your own podcast.
That was the first I heard of. I listened to your podcast before I met you. The one because I had Daniela and I were talking. So I listened to the podcast through Daniela's Instagram, like linked, and that's how I heard your voice for the first time.
That's crazy. So now these are two people who didn't know each other. They live fairly close to each other, right? Mm-hmm. Where once everything, they can see each other. How did you decide that you wanted to start a podcast? And then you told me about it.
I feel like we were in Daniela's car talking about it after our podcast that we did at the hotel, and everybody had kind of dispersed and we said our goodbyes, right?
Yeah. Originally, I reached out to Lori because I wanted to do the podcast, but I wanted to do it with someone. I wanted it to be different. I didn't want it to be like every other podcast that was out there for resellers. And Lori was like, yeah, sure. Like Lori didn't even think twice. She was like,
it's a blessing and a curse. I just jump. Daniela is the planner and I am okay, let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah. So, and we get along so well. We're very similar, but very different. And we just jive well together, and we can talk, and we're both Italian, and it's like, we just get along really well, kind of like sisters. That's basically how we interact with each other.
And we're coming from two different places, with Daniela working full-time and doing this part-time, and me juggling the kids and the home, and we're just two different places. And I think it just works for the podcast. It's been fun.
Yeah. And then we told you that night when we were all messed. We were hanging out in the car at the hotel. We just got back from the restaurant, and we were just chit-chatting about different things. And then we told Leslie that we were going to do it, and she was all surprised. And it was
so supportive. So supportive.
It's a beautiful thing. It really is. It's a beautiful thing. Community is a beautiful thing. And so then they started their podcast. So talk a little bit about that. You're like 20 weeks in.
I know.
That's because you can talk about it. I'm not even going to talk about it, but 20 weeks, that's amazing. Well, I was going to say, just based on my knowledge, it's only one episode released a week. So that's how we got from December to now. 20 weeks. That is amazing.
In the blink of an eye.
You're getting sponsorship. Talk about your first, how you decided what you wanted it to be about, and then how it's progressed from there, from the start planning to where it is now.
Do you want to go, Lori, or it doesn't matter?
Well, all I want to say is that I think we immediately knew we wanted sit around the table vibe. We wanted to be very conversation style based, and really just I compare it to like The View of podcasting.
Yes.
Two people. And sometimes we have guests on. Leslie's been on our show, but really it's almost just like The View. And we talk about hot topics, and we kind of give our perspective and our experience, and, what our ideal situation would be, the situation we're in. And we just wanted it to be very relatable, that anybody who was listening felt like they could be at the table with us having coffee. And so every time we get that in our feedback, it is what makes me the happiest. And I think Daniela too, because that's really exactly what we were going for. Denali has such a wonderful podcast out, like an interview style. You were incredible, and you were both mentors to me, at least. And I think Daniela as well. And so it was a little bit of a challenge to think of how are we going to bring something unique to the table? And that's kind of what we came up with. So, just a couple of New England girls chatting every week.
That's basically all it is. Just two friends getting together, talking about reselling, which we would do anyway if we were together. So it's literally you're sitting, or you're doing whatever that you're doing, listening to us just having conversation. Sometimes I forget that I should probably press record before we even start anything.
Right.
Full on conversations for like a half hour, 40 minutes.
We have to record. I know. And I will say that some of my favorite ones are just like the chit chat ones, where we don't really have much of an agenda and we can just go off, which
for me. Because when I do that to get people comfortable, but not everyone's really comfortable with getting into the conversation. So I'm glad that you're doing that. Like, I do start off getting people comfortable, and I look up and go, wow, we've been talking for like a few minutes. We've been talking for a few minutes. So let me get into a whole intro thing and get that going. So Daniela said, talk about what you're doing now, because I love what you're doing. And what I will say is your podcast is not like anyone else's. And for anyone here, and before I get to Daniela, I'm going to shout out to a couple people before, but for anyone here, my motto is enough for everyone, right? Everyone has their own ideas. The key is implementing them. You can sit around talking all day about what you're going to do until you start. It's not even a plan. You know, you can run around all day long. And these ladies have put the plan into place. They've run with it. And it's incredible as far as I'm concerned. And I don't consider anyone to be competition, because the world is vast and we're all different people. And I listen to it because it's them. We just had to.
So we do take it or leave it.
You know,
last week.
Let me see. So we have, I had to put the shout out to all our groups and everything. So
yes.
What's up? New England Betty Boop is Lizette. She's Posh is on My Purpose on Instagram.
Maria,
Sarah, Lily, Jen, Lori's here.
Oh, awesome.
Boutique, hello. Lori Owens, hey Lori, and Maria, hello.
Hey, Maria.
Hey friends, yes, we are a trio of wonderful people. Yes, we
Thank you, Bella.
So Daniela, talk about like what's going on now with the podcast, because you have a website. You have printables. Talk about that. I'm loving everything that you're doing.
So we talked about a website previously, probably like a month or so ago, but we didn't really know what direction we wanted to go with, and like when do we even have time to make like an actual website the way that we'd like to do it. So the idea kind of came up when we did the episode on the social media calendar, and it just kind of made sense. Like, we're using MailChimp. It's nothing crazy. It's free, but it gets the message across, and it's a great tool for anyone that wants to start an email list and wants to start a website but doesn't want to invest a ton of money into it and wants to get things going. Perfect way to do it.
Perfect.
Create landing pages and all that kind of stuff. So basically the social media calendar was a way for us to kind of get back to the community and share our expertise with it and give something helpful to everyone that listens to us, because right now during quarantine and stay-at-home orders and everything, people are on social media more. So you might want to use this opportunity to help build your business and help build your brand. So it felt right to do that. And then now we're using it for our new mini series that we're going to be doing every other week when Lori is taking that time off. I'm starting a mini series called Coffee Talk. And basically I'm going to have different people on that have different expertise, or maybe it's me talking about a specific topic or area that seems to be lacking in the community or anything like that. It might be someone completely unrelated to reselling and just business related, more entrepreneurial kind of stuff. And so I created a landing page for that. So for anyone that's watching, if you go to our Thrifter's Villa Instagram page, there's a link there. You can fill out the survey. Let us know, like, you know, your story, what you're all about. We're going to look through everything. It doesn't matter how many followers you have. I don't care how long you've been doing whatever it is that you're doing. It's just, I just want to know about you. And then we're going to take it from there. So it's an every other week thing. So that will be fun.
That sounds good. So I'm going to leave all the information in the comments once we're finished talking, so that everyone can come back and just find your information. And it'll be Daniela's individual, Lori's individual, and Thrifter's Villa information, because we want everyone to follow. Lori, tell me about this website and why did you start it, and what is your goal for it going forward?
I started it because I had started to do direct sales on YouTube when I would do a haul, and people would message me, either DM on Instagram or comments on YouTube or email me. And I was getting messages from everywhere and trying to do direct sales through PayPal. And it was just getting very muddy. And I just wanted a place where people could go and link to everything. That was kind of my beginning. And I also wanted a place where I could test the waters on selling things a little less expensive than on Poshmark. Things that I wanted to move faster, or light things that I didn't want people to have to pay a lot on shipping. And when I did the Marie Kondo method to my bedroom, I cleared out over 200 items, and I happen to have a ton of dresses. So I just started with dresses, and I priced them either $15, $20, $25 and put them on there. And I'm getting ready to pull them because, 20 dresses get pretty stale pretty quickly on a website, it just, and the next drop is going to be bathing suits with the same idea. And then I also have a link to like my Amazon page and my Poshmark page and in all those places. And that's when I decided to initiate the closet consultations. And that has actually been driving the most traffic to my website, which totally came out of left field. I really didn't see that coming at all. I haven't made like a sale like on a clothing sale like in 3 weeks. And it's all been the consultations right now. And I'm learning how to do plugins and add like testimonial. I mean, I'm learning very slowly, but I'm learning. So it's really just become a landing page for people and kind of made me feel a little official. I was excited to make it official. And that's that.
Yeah. So
sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Daniela.
I was just going to say, Lori's website's already live. My website's it's in the back burner right now because I just don't have time for it. But it's so funny that we were thinking about doing websites at the same time. And it's like, I'm going to do one. And it's like bouncing things off of each other. And it's nice to have that person that you can kind of go to and discuss these things with.
And I was joking because I'm like, my website, and Kristen from Voyage is a Verb is the one who built my website for me. It's one of those things, it's on Shopify, and I know myself. And I said, I can sit around and talk about a website forever, or I can call someone and say, partner with me on this, and I'm going to pay a little money, but it will get done. Because if I just kept talking about it, it wasn't going to happen. And so Kristen really gave me my foundation, and she was wonderful to work with, and a lot of questions going back and forth. And now I'm on my own, like she pushed me in the water. I'm trying to figure it out. But I was laughing with Daniela because I thought how different our websites, our approach, because I know when Daniela rolls hers out, it's going to be 100% complete, and she is going to have content jammed. And I was like, come back to this page, check back frequently. But like, it's so true to our styles, and I'm just kind of plugging along, and hopefully it will grow with me. But yeah, it's just, even our approach to our websites has been funny.
Well, that's what happens. I'm like with Lori, because Lori actually is the person who makes me feel comfortable in knowing that I can just chill when it comes to my YouTube, that I don't have to be like all fancy. I'm just learning as I go. My daughter thankfully gives me a couple minutes a week and says, Mom, and so like she'll watch something and say, why didn't you do this? I'm like, listen, I got it published. That's all I care about right now. For my age, I know so many people who are like, I'm not interested in doing that. I'm interested. And I'm like, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to figure out how to do it.
And you're doing so well, Leslie. So, and you're releasing a lot, and it's so good.
It's like, I don't have I'm saving. So listen to me, people. I'm saving. I save for everything. I'm saving for my MacBook, and hopefully that'll be my birthday present. But until then, I have not iMovies. I have it on my phone and everything, but I do too much content that I always use up all my space. So I just paid for one of those yearly ones, which is just like iMovies that my daughter showed me that she uses for hers. And it's perfect. It's the same concept. You piece it together, bam, I can put a movie together in like 2 minutes. So that's the kind of stuff. Give me something easy like that, like Lori was saying. If you have someone to kind of help you get started, and you just piece it. My reseller's passion, I've been working on that for a year. So now that I know all the movements and everything of it, I can add different things. And I just did, like, I do Zoom chats and stuff, and people pay me and things. And so I do that. I show them, I share my screen. And they're like, oh my gosh. But that's a work in progress. I had to learn how to do that. And then I have another website that's on Weebly, which is like so much easier, but it's different, So you just have to figure out what works for you and what programs are going to work. But go at your own pace. Like Daniela, I know she's ready to get that website. She's ready to do something,
but she don't have the time.
But she doesn't have the time, because just like Lori said, we know her. So as soon as she starts, she's going to go from 0 to
and it'll be one in no time.
And we're going to be looking at her like, so.
It's going to be so good. But one thing I feel like age has taught me is a little bit of patience, because I am actually a very impulsive person. And when I get excited about something, I kind of put the blinders on. With YouTube and social media and all of this, I don't feel like I'm in quite as much of a hurry as I used to be. I don't know if that's the best thing. Like sometimes I feel like I should have a fire on my butt to like get me moving. However, I haven't like had that anxiety of like, oh, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. I'm like, oh, I'll get there when I get there. If I get there, you know, I'm just plugging along. So that has helped me a little bit in the process, because you can really overwhelm yourself with just how much is out there. Like, oh, my Instagram should be prettier, or do I really want that preset? No, I really don't. That's really not me.
Exactly.
Like, it's absolutely
feel too. You have just spoken to all the women who are in our age range, younger women too, but in our age range where we're still learning, you know, and it's okay. So you just told people it's okay to take your time, that you don't have to be perfect, because what I tell people all the time is they look at us from right now, right? They're not looking from the beginning. I say, if you want to know anything about me, go back to my first YouTube video. That will tell you all about how I went from where I'm at to now. Stop looking at my numbers, go all the way back to my first Instagram post. You know, some of them I've taken off, but that's how you get to know people, and then just kind of telling people who you are. That's why I love having these lives, so that people can see, you know what, I can stop comparing myself. Lori just said she's struggling, you know, regardless of what your numbers look like, you're just doing your everyday thing and what feels good to you. And I think that's the important thing that people should realize, you know.
I mean, the fact that I know how to do a Zoom chat is a huge accomplishment to me. I don't know about any of you guys, but like, I know how to share a screen now, and that makes me proud.
I know. So let's talk about Daniela. Going forward, as somebody is texting me, Lizette.
What are you doing?
Well, my Fitbit, my watch, you know, my text messages come through, and it's just buzzing. I'm thinking, who is this? I didn't already told my daughter, leave me alone.
So funny.
And Lizette is like texting me.
Oh, I love it.
I don't know what she's saying because it went across too fast. Said, look, I didn't lost my thought. I was going to say Daniela, but everything else after that, let me look at the notes.
She lost it.
I know.
I'm like, what was that all about? Seriously, though, Daniela, when you start your website, do you have an idea of what type of content you're trying to put out there?
Yeah, I kind of have an idea. So the whole theme of my website is going to be choose your own price. There's going to be like stipulations with that, of course. It's not going to be like pick whatever price you want. There's going to be like steps of prices, 3 hierarchy, I guess we say, prices, and each price point will designate a certain amount of money that will be donated to a specific charity. So there's 3 charities that can be put in place, and a certain percentage will be going towards that charity. And there'll be like a banner on the main page that will show you all of that. I'm going to have information about each charity on there. There's going to be blog posts related to different content, whether it's reseller related fashion, lifestyle, all that kind of stuff. Thinking of like what blogs used to be. I'm going to incorporate that on there. There'll be a link for the podcast on there. Just a little bit of everything. It's going to be more of a lifestyle-based thing and building myself up that way. So I'm not just kind of pigeonholing myself and just Poshmark or eBay. Yeah. Like I want people to see who I am all around, not just that small aspect of me. So, and plus it's selling stuff myself on that website. Again, like Lori said, it's less money. People are paying less fees. Yeah. I mean, it's a big deal.
Yeah. Well, and the first thing I want to say, the lifestyle, I love that, because that is kind of like what I try to do every day. A reseller's passion is just everything that I'm passionate about. And so that way, when I start talking about this and that, there's no big surprise. Like, well, I thought she was a reseller, and why should I do that? And why should I buy that or whatever? Because I'm like way over here at 50% doing other stuff and then 50% doing reselling. And so, yeah, hey, I love it.
Every video.
I saw a fluffy white character run behind Lori too. So it's just like,
I lost her out today.
So I love that part. I think it's really important for people to just kind of stay true to themselves. And I'm going to come back to Lori, since we're talking about lifestyle. Tell everybody about the Chronicles of a Reseller.
Yeah. So the Chronicles of a Reseller is my YouTube page, but it's my name, Daniela Malkasian. I don't feel like changing it. I'm just going to leave it my name. But the actual title of the YouTube channel is the Chronicles of a Reseller. And it's not your typical reseller, I guess, YouTube. There'll be some components of hauls and all that kind of stuff in there, but it's a lot of like just me vlogging and you coming along a day with me. And then talking about a specific reseller related thing or business related concept. So the video I dropped last night was on SEO, but it's like the basics 101 of SEO, what someone should know if they really want to help, if they really want to build their business and understand how to rank on Google, like just the bare necessities that you need to know, because you can really dive deep into all that stuff. And I have, because it's what I did for 4+ years of my life. So I could really get technical, but why would I ever do that? So those are the kind of things that
there could be an audience for that, though.
Definitely.
I mean, you could do a series and then just do part 1, part 2, and go.
Because that's what you do, and that would be you.
That's your expertise.
That's who you are. So we're saying to you, do that. So.
Okay. Sit down.
Go and do that.
You're both like,
you've got I'm telling you that. No, seriously, I just love all your content, and Marco loves to make his appearance, and so
he's just hanging out in the corner like a creeper.
Oh, he's not a creeper. No, it's more like
he's like an elf on a shelf right now.
He's on watch because he's like, what's going on? You touch my mom, it's on, because cats do not play. Dogs are sweet, but cats will hurt you.
Leslie, I have a question for you.
Yes.
How do you come up with just so much content? I feel like you are always releasing, like it just never ends. I feel like it flows out of you and you go in so many different directions, and I love it. And I'm always like, oh, that's interesting. Oh, she went shopping in her basement today. I'm gonna watch this.
Yeah, and I still have way more stuff. You know what's so funny about it? And I talk about this. I was just been really transparent about this lately. Is I started on YouTube, and I kind of felt that it wasn't really an audience for me. Because in the beginning, I was talking about the same kind of things I'm talking about, right? But there was everyone else is doing different things. So I just kind of stepped away and said, let me just put all my everything into Instagram. That helped because it did build my community. So now I can put whatever content out. And I just kind of sit around and look at like every day, like what I'm doing, what I have available. And I also look at the current situation because I'm all about, as you know me, right? We've talked diversifying, first of all. So when you say you don't have anything to sell, that kind of touches me a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like I grew up, my mother, we didn't have a lot of money. So everything to me is about like finding how I can use everything that I have to the best of, of my abilities, And so today I've been saying it for weeks and weeks and weeks as a crafter and whatever. I have so much stuff. I have yarn, I have everything. And I just said, you know what? As I was in the basement washing my clothes, I said, you know what? I'm gonna grab these 2 bins today and pull them up, go through everything. I threw away things that couldn't be used and put everything on the table, kept what I wanted to keep. And I just did the video. And it was just a simple one. I wasn't even thinking because I didn't want my camera to be that way, but I said it's going to stay that way. And I just did the intro,
And then you were like painting on the denim a couple weeks ago and the bag.
I'm still doing that. And that's why I love my name of Reseller's Passion. When I came up with it, I was like, wow, aha, there it is. So that allows me, like Daniela was saying, to just be myself in every direction. So no one's surprised. And then I just reintroduce myself and say, if you didn't know what my name meant, it means that I'm Leslie and I'm talking about everything that I'm passionate about. So I've been a crafter and I can't crochet like I used to because of my carpal tunnel, but I can still paint. So Saturday is specifically my painting day. And then on Monday, you'll see like my whole group of like pants and things that I've painted. Thomas just gave me about 30 jeans new with tags. I'm making sales on Etsy. I'm also creating some things. I have some new stuff coming, going on my actual website. That's what I love about website. We'll get back to that in a minute. But yeah, I just think about like outside of the box. I'm not ready to go out into the wild yet. I've been doing a lot of sourcing online, and I'm changing the whole structure of my business. Vintage has really been picking up for me. So I've been sourcing really strategically for vintage. I'm sourcing for like t-shirts and things like that. There are a lot of people doing tie-dye and stuff, but I don't want to do that. I still want to stay with what I want to do. And so that's going to be something else just coming out. I have a whole bunch bras, I already knew they sold, right? And Denali did it a few weeks ago. So I was like, let me see if I can find some bras. Reach out to a company. They sent me, 40 bras, and they've been selling. Like you sell 4, and I've paid for my whole box.
Wow.
Yes, they're new and they're plus size. So I'm teaching people. I'm not hiding anything, and I want to share that so people can see that it's things that you can do within your house. Look under your bed. If you have a husband, he has stuff. We're home now. What are we actually wearing? Because now the seasons are changing.
We were all comparing holes in our shirts before they started.
Right here.
Like I'm wearing leggings and yoga pants all day long. And that was the cool thing. I work from home anyway. Like everyone's different. When I get up in the morning, I'm dressed. Like people are like, oh, I gotta get dressed. I'm like, I put on a t-shirt and some sweatpants. I'm dressed. Like, who's going to see me? I want to be as comfortable as possible. But there are still some people who get up and they get dressed. But, yeah. Well, you're actually going
to
work.
I have to.
Yeah. So, but there are people who will specifically say they don't feel, or especially the new people who are now home have transitioned. So they don't feel like they're productive unless they're dressed. And I'm like, production is about what you're getting done, baby. That's
I'm more productive after a shower.
I have Netflix on in the back and I'm sharing, So yeah, but I thank you for that question. Everything that I'm just kind of, and Thomas is the same way. He's married to me, and he never realized like the extent of all the things that I was doing. Like he was like, "You're doing YouTube, what?" So it's like really interesting.
So funny to say that my husband, when I told him I was doing YouTube, was like, "You're doing what?"
We had that moment a couple times, right? Because when you first started, Matt was probably like, "What you're selling? Yeah. Doing what?"
Yeah. First, it was the whole reselling thing. Then it was you're going to do a podcast. Okay. And then it was YouTube. And it was like, but what? Why?
Yeah.
Why? Just let me do my thing. Just let me do it. There's a plan. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, and it would amaze them that they can see like Lori's husband probably is like, yeah, now she has her business, she's doing her LLC, and she's doing her videos. But if she were able to say, okay, community, I'm holding an event, and she brings her family, that is where the surprise is. When all these people are coming to see Lori's Boston Found at a meet and greet in the Massachusetts area, that's when they go.
Can we do a meet and greet? Lori's Boston Found.
I love it.
So then that's when they go, because I took Thomas to my first Posh Party Live, and he was like, "Are you kidding me?
Are you a whole different world?"
Knocking him down to get to me, and he was just like, "Wow, this is serious." So yeah, it's crazy. So let's talk about that, Lori. Your LLC, you're like an official business.
I am. I got my credit card with Lori's Boston Found. It seems like so corny, but I was like really excited.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I think it's just because I don't know who I've shared this with, but many years ago, I've always kind of like had the little entrepreneur bug. And I was a teacher before. And I remember when I was like 20 years old and started teaching, 21, just out of college, thinking that like the clothing for teachers was so corny. And I was like, I don't want to wear pencils off of my ears or plaid shirts with apples. And like, so I wanted to start a clothing line for teachers that was kind of cool. And it's funny because my name that in my brain was the Plaid Apple. And I just thought it would be kind of cool, like an online business. And of course, it never got off the ground. But that was like one of my ideas. And then I actually did start a blog a few years ago. Jay's cousin is a graphic designer, and it was a lifestyle blog. Lulu had her own section. I had a section where I painted furniture for using Sloan paint. And it was called Tata for Now, which my last name. So I had a website, and then I was supposed to go into business with my daughter's dance teacher, and we were going to sell secondhand dance costumes. Because if you're a dance mom, you spend thousands of dollars on costumes every year, and then they wear them like for a competition season and it's over. So I had a name called The Tool Shed, Tulle, The Tool Shed, and I was going to sell dance costumes, and none of them ever went anywhere. So when Lori's Boston Found kind of showed up and it was like really official, it was really meaningful to me because it's been 20 years of just ideas that kind of were fleeting and came and went, and I didn't put the time into it or I didn't nurture it. And so to have the LLC is nice. So I got a PO box this year and the LLC, and I just kind of went official on it. So we'll see how it goes. I hope it's worth it. I mean, I hope, because I hope so. I mean, I do want to do a video on like the cost of going legit here, because the website costs money to design, and then it costs money just to be on Shopify for the year. And the LLC was $500. And, you know, like everything has really, I'm like, thank God I'm not sourcing right now, because my business, just the actual business, is costing a lot of money. And, you know, I hope I can keep working hard and making it worth it all.
Yeah, but the cool thing is you actually waited. Like, some people jump right into doing all these things because they kind of have a feeling and they think they're going to do this, and they go spend all that money. That's when the spouses start looking at them crazy, when they're saying, oh, I got to buy this, I have to do that. But you took your time and you watched your business evolve. And so I definitely think it's worth it. I don't have an LLC. I've been a sole proprietor for years, but my business wasn't as big as it is now. Like, you know, I'm waiting because I'm moving to North Carolina. I don't want to do something here for Delaware and then move. So I'm just waiting for that, because I'm totally going to be LLC. I can't wait for that. But I definitely think that's content for people. I'm all about, you know, giving people truth. It helps them, one, really think about if they want to do this, right? Because there are so many people who think they're in business, and I always preface by saying I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but I still will speak the truth behind that, is that you're just a hobby, and it's okay with that. But you can't say you're a business if you're not working in a business, you know, putting everything 100% in your business. And you can work another job, because Daniela's a business owner, you know, but she knows she's working towards the business, and you really have to put the work in. So you don't want to put all this money up front until you see that you can at least make a go, and you have to have income coming back. That's really the key. That's when you're in business, when you're making money back, not like making money and then all of a sudden, okay, now I'm going to shop, and you can't do anything. You know, that's when our spouses start getting like really, you know, because I have people every day sending me messages, and I say it all the time, but they'll send me DMs like, how do I get my spouse involved or whatever? I'm like, first of all, I'm not getting involved in your marital situation. But I will say two different things. One, if your spouse is taking packages to the post office, he's helping you. To me, I say, bless you, honey. You've helped me do something. Like, it's your business. They don't have to be involved, right? But two, think about like the money you're spending. When you tell your spouse, oh, I'm going sourcing, and he's just going like, yeah, you're just doing that to fulfill your shopping habit. You know, you have to convince them that you're making money, because you're a partnership, and that involves your family, you know, so just be serious about it. So I think that having a video so people can see what it takes financially to run a serious business would be something I want to see. So again, from your big sister, Lori, that's your video that you should.
Yeah, I do. I am going to work on it. And I think I was that person, Leslie, for a long time who I've said this to someone, that I feel like with this business, it's the first time I didn't put the cart before the horse. It was actually out of need. Like, I need a place for people to go on the website, and I need to somehow funnel this stuff. And, you know, going on, not having the protection of Poshmark, when I have my website, if anything were to go wrong, you know, not that there's a lot of risk in what I do, but, you know, so I was definitely one of those people that I would get hyped up over something and kind of like pay for the website and get all excited. And then it just kind of sat there. So yeah, this has been good for me. And maybe that's where age and patience.
That's what I was going to say. It's all about maturity, because we look back on our children and we think like we were there, you know, some of the things that they're thinking about, and I go like, I have to take a minute not to fuss, because I did something similar to that. I just have to kind of go around it in a nice way. But yeah, for me, it's all about maturity. Like, every decision that I make is totally 100% on purpose. Like, once you get 50, it has to be purpose driven. Like, there is no going back. Like, oh, should I do that? I just decide I'm going to just do it 100%, and I'll get really into it. And then if I decide I don't want to do it, at least I've taken a chance. Everything that I speak to the community, I'm not going to say, well, do it, and I'm not doing it. I am 100% going to do that. Like, wow, that sounds interesting to me. Let me check it out and see if I want to do it. And I just think it's really important. I'm checking the comments. Okay, so yeah, because Lizette, New England Betty Boop, she actually called me too. She's like, she's my moderator. Lizette is my moderator.
Okay.
And so that's why you see her with like all the emoji and stuff. She does it for fun for a lot of other people. She's actually my moderator to keep out spammers and stuff. But she was like, I can't see the chat. I'm like, yeah, I can see everybody's commenting. And that's why I stuck hi everyone in there so that people can see.
Oh, I see.
So let me see what I'm
good. I need to add you as a moderator because I missed. we had two.
Yeah. You just ask because the people who come on all the time. But that thankful to Tori and Bill for that. So hey Bill, hey Cotton Waves. I'm gonna just put that up there while I say hi to some other people. Hello, Melissa, who is Vandy's Closet. Hello, Lauren. Who else?
My girl Tracy's in here. She's someone I talked to.
Tracy.
Lulu wants to come in. Hold on.
I see someone had a question, Leslie.
Where's it at?
Aaron J has a question. It says, I know you guys are hanging out, but I want to hear your gems. Can I be successful without a YouTube channel?
Yes.
100% you don't need a YouTube channel.
I actually just spoke to this recently in one of my closet consultations because, someone said, do you think you get a fair amount of sales because you're on YouTube? And my answer is yes. And I would never say that I don't generate sales from like a haul on YouTube that people reach out to me for. But I followed that up quickly with when I make a YouTube video, it's at least an hour to film. Usually more like an hour and a half because I'm starting and stopping and I didn't put makeup on and the dogs were barking. And then it takes a couple hours for me to edit. I do edit a lot with my videos, and then the upload, and then answering questions, comments, creating a thumbnail, advertising on Instagram. Like it probably takes me 6 hours start to finish to produce one of my videos. And I 150%, if I took 6 hours and listed for 6 hours, I would make a lot more money than I'm making either off my YouTube video or just in my closet while I'm taking the time away from my business to make a YouTube video. I'm not big enough that YouTube is like paying my bills, not even by a little.
Yeah, so it's not what people think it is in terms of money. There are people, as soon as they get monetized, they're like, yeah, thank you for that penny you sent me.
It's like a joke. Yeah. Yes. It does build up after a while, but I think, I don't know the names of people, but it's my understanding that the people who are most successful on eBay and Poshmark are nowhere near YouTube.
Yeah, nowhere near YouTube. Yeah. And that's the cool thing about like having something, whatever you want to share. Like I will say that because I'm going to actually do a post tomorrow. So I'm letting you guys in on that. But I was going to do a post on Instagram and just kind of share that having something else as an extension of your business is really important. It doesn't have to be YouTube, but the ladies have already talked about this, like on their podcast, and I've talked about it. Having a social media presence is a game changer. People say, oh, like, how do you make time? The reason I make time on Instagram because I consider it to be an extension of my business. I say, God bless the TikTokers. Hey, happy for you. I have a couple out there, but it's not my main thing. I've already been home. So some people are experimenting because they're home and they're happy or whatever. I don't want anybody to yell at me. They probably will. But I really think Instagram is an extension. If you're transparent, you show yourself, you talk about some stuff, you show your dog, you show your clothes, you come the next day and you talk about something different and you're not selling, your community is going to just go, wow, I like that. I'm interested in that. And Daniela can talk to that, mystery boxes and things like that. I did the videos on the bras and I did my B&G trading box. And you would think that I was saying, wow. So I had some sales and it's amazing to me. So I wouldn't do it because of that, but having some type of presence.
In addition to.
Yeah. So I wouldn't, like Daniela just started YouTube. So she had been putting it off and she wasn't really, but she was already creating success on Instagram, but definitely having a social media presence.
And your presence on Instagram, I think, has helped get your YouTube.
Yeah, I think it really has. I took a break. And like I said, I focused on Instagram. I have way more, almost 100 IGTV videos there, 10-minute videos every week popping in. But then now just creating this transparency about myself and being positive and motivating and quotes and things like that. And the DMs that pour in are amazing. And it's a life changer. It is like when you talk about being humble, it is like really like some days I'm crying the stuff that people send me, like I listened to your podcast today, or like now my husband happened to listen to it and now he's, so it doesn't have to just be like reselling. I've switched gears into terms of what I'm talking about. And that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to do the content that you want to hear. And I think the ladies can agree. Create the content that you want to hear. And then it's going to be other people just like you who want to hear that content or see that content, right?
Yeah, I think if it wasn't for Instagram, I would have never sold 37 not so mystery reseller boxes. Yeah. That was insane. That was just on Instagram sales, and I had never done that before. Well, I tried to do it in the past, and it was never successful. So when all this was going on with the stay-at-home order and all that kind of stuff, I was like, okay, I need to get rid of a bunch of inventory because I can't take it anymore, and it's way too much, and I don't have the time for it, and I just need to clear everything out. That was my opportunity to do it, and it took off. And since then, my Instagram has grown a lot, which is really nice. And that has now helped not only with the podcast, but with my YouTube channel, which I'm almost at 100 subscribers, which is crazy to me because I'd be happy with 10 at this point. I'm brand new, so to have 100, I thank Instagram for that. And I thank everyone else that follows me and all my friends on here and everything that promote it too, because I can't do it on my own to grow my business.
They all feed off of each other.
Yeah, that's what it's about. So Daniela's already on Instagram. What is your thought on this question right there?
I do have a separate Instagram account for business. So I have my personal one, and then I have my one related to reselling in my business. I think it's good to keep those two things separate, the two separate entities. I don't like to merge those together. I incorporate some personal stuff in my business Instagram, but I like to keep my personal life away from all that.
How about you, Lori?
I have two separate accounts, but I have to say, I don't think I've posted on my personal account since Christmas. Yeah, I have opened up more and more on my business platform. And, I share things about, my kids, if it's their birthday or things like that, I do share, but I always try to bring it back to business.
Yeah. And what I will say is that is what people are actually looking for, though. They're looking for your human side. They're looking for that more than they're looking for your business, because then it helps them realize that they can be real too, for as little as much as they want. And so I learned that a long time ago when I started just kind of putting things out there, and I was like, wow. And then you can see the analytics. To answer the question, my Instagram is only business. I actually have 5 Instagram pages, 2 podcasts, 2 business, 2 brands. I have a crochet page, a reseller page, 2 podcast pages, and a brand.
She has a Superwoman costume.
Yeah. So I have to keep up with between Thrifters Villa, the Ivy and Blush Bottega, and my own that I just ignore completely. Yeah. I don't know how you do it.
That's just, I started this separate brand, and I started doing what I figured out how to do for Resellers Passion. And now I just did it all at one time. And then I'm slowly going to be building that so I can do some advocacy and some speaking and some different things for the hair loss and stuff like that. I saw something else that jumped out.
Somebody asked, Sharon J, you guys are hardcore. Is there a group for the hobby people? I feel bad. I don't want anyone to feel excluded.
No, there's nothing wrong with the hobby. And I say that, that's the thing. It's depending, it's your why. You can do as little or as much as you want. So hopefully I didn't come off like I was just saying that, hobby is not important. I started off as just straight up hobby. I tell that straight up, because my husband was a reseller and I just wanted to do something that we had in common. And that was it. I was literally giving stuff away. That was hobby. Then when I knew I wanted to become a business, then I was not sleeping and doing, my account.
I was just going to say, I think what happens is just the evolution of reselling in general. You start, I started off when I was 16 as, I guess, a hobby. It was, I wanted to pay for my books for school, or I wanted to I want a new purse or whatever, right? And then it was to pay bills, and then it's to save, and it just kind of keeps growing. And then you grow, and then you see what you can make it, right? Yeah. And then it starts to change, but it can stay a hobby. It doesn't have to into anything.
I think there are full-time people who would consider what I do hobby level. I mean, I say I'm full-time, which I am. I work 40 hours a week if that's what makes me full-time, but it's not all full-time now on reselling anymore. My time is divided now between, Thrifters Villa and the YouTube channel and all that stuff. It really is going to come down to what is enough for you and what works for you. There are full-time people doing 5 times the volume that I do. And they're getting pallets and they work with their spouse. And, it really is just what you want to make it. And hobby you can call hobby part-time. I mean, it really shouldn't even be a definition or a term attached to it.
So even a stay-at-home mom, I say, like, you home and you just need to make $200 a month, whoever you want to be. And it goes back to what Daniela was saying, like, where Lori was just saying how people get pallets and things. That also is the evolution of it, and for me, I don't always want to be a reseller. I'm eventually going to move away because my business is growing in so many different ways. Like, how Lori was saying, she's like doing closet consultations and stuff, but then things change, other opportunities come your way. And because of this business, other opportunities have come my way. And so my mind starts shifting. And so that's why I say I'm only a 50% reseller. I work from home and I'm a full-time business owner. That's what I am. I'm a business owner, not necessarily a reseller, not necessarily a coach, not necessarily a motivational speaker, but all those things is who I am. And so I think you can be whoever you want. Whatever works for you is important.
Yep.
What does it say? It says that the IRS has a definition of a hobby. No matter how small, if you're selling a good service, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
For real though, and let's get that clear, because I'm actually, if anybody knows, Lori is the person who gave me, I'm contacting someone to come on live with Thomas and I to talk about taxes, because it's really important. Some people are not aware of that. They think, making a little bit of money on the side. Don't let the IRS knock on your door. My stepmother will tell you, she worked there for 30 years. You can play if you want. And Melissa is saying, I don't think anyone can qualify anyone else, honestly. If you feel you're full-time, that is exactly right. That is exactly right.
Yep. I say I'm part-time, but I'm totally not.
No, she's not. I don't think you can be. I just you're just going. You're just going.
If you have a business in general, you really can't be part-time. It's very difficult if you're trying to build a business to be part-time.
It's very hard to turn it off.
Who wants to answer Nikki's question there?
How are you using social media for your business?
Well, Danielle, you touched on it. I mean, you can use it for advertising. You can, like right before I came on this live, I hadn't really shown my face on my Instagram stories. And I just hopped on and I said, hey, I'm going to be live with Daniela and Leslie. Join us over on Leslie's channel. So I use it in that way. And then in other days, I just might take a picture of my cup of coffee and say, chilling this Saturday. What are you guys up to? It's kind of, I use it to engage people in my community and show like little snippets of my life and mix my business in. It's work for me. I do enjoy Instagram, but it takes a lot of mental space for me. So I have a hard time juggling it. But yeah, you can run promotions and sales on your Instagram. You can use it really however you want, just like your business.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have a whole episode on Thrifter's Villa that goes through like all of the social media platforms that you could possibly use for your business and how we use it if we haven't used it and all that kind of stuff. There's so many components of social media. It's not just Instagram. It's not just YouTube. There's a lot.
Yeah. And I try to use all of them as I can. I used to do TikTok once a week, but I just can't. And it's really, if you just have to figure out what works for you. I believe if you have a Facebook page and an Instagram page, if you connect them, once you put contact on Instagram, it instantly goes to Facebook. So you've already created 2 pieces of content, and then you can kind of play around with it. I usually take several photos, and every day with a coffee cup is brand new photos. But then I take photos when I'm in the mood, and then I'll use that as a post or whatever. And so then I go through and look for different quotes that fit my personality for the day. So it doesn't have to be this big thing. It could just be small. And people, it's bigger than you need it to be sometimes. You make it bigger than you have to. If you just be yourself.
I find I overthink it sometimes.
Yeah, you don't have, exactly. Like, it's like, real quick story, like a friend of mine, she, I have the affiliate link for B&G, and I did my box opening, and she's like, oh, I want to get a box. She used my code, and she got her box yesterday, and she sent me a DM, and she said, I have my stuff, but when we see each other in person, she lives in New Jersey, you can see my stuff, or I'll send you some pictures privately because I don't want to do a video. And then she talked about her hair and how she didn't like the way she looked and all that. And I said, listen, if I thought about that, we would never have met. So I'm like, I'm bald, I'm black, I'm 50, I'm just, and I'm not down on myself. People send me messages like I'm talking about myself. I am proud, I'm awesome, I'm a wonderful, so everything that I talk about is just to get your attention so that you can see that it's not like a huge deal. And I said to her, that's fine, but like, look at me, look at my first video. If I had never made a video, we wouldn't have met and I wouldn't be in the community. She sends me a message. She created a video and she posted it.
That's so
cool. Like it was, and I was like, oh my gosh, you were just as natural. It's like, but people need, sometimes we don't see ourselves the way that other people see ourselves, see us, depending on what our past situation was. And I'm here to tell everyone, you're beautiful just the way that you are. Just do one little thing. If it's something that you want to do, the only way it's going to get done is if you do it. That is so important. I can't stress that enough. Do it. Stick your toe in the picture. I don't know. It's serious. I mean, I tell that like Patricia, I tell Patricia because she doesn't like to show her face. And I said, just keep doing what you're doing.
Does anybody in the group chat follow New York Thrifter? The New York.
I do follow New York Thrifter.
Okay. Well, she's been in hiding for a while, but right. The New York Thrifter on YouTube, right? I've never seen her face before. She has the most incredible content and like goes through designer brands, and she has a really peaceful voice. I could listen to her all day. She never shows her face. I wouldn't know if I tripped over her, but if you look on her YouTube channel, she has an incredible amount of followers. It's fascinating.
See, there you go, guys. So definitely, I'm just making sure I'm not missing. What does this say? People will nitpick you regardless of what you do. So just be you and right people stick around. That's how I feel about it. I don't really care what anyone says. So here's Nikki says, social media can have us thinking that we have to look a certain way. I'm happy to be a part of this community. You have motivated me in so many ways. I really, as you can tell, I really don't care. So Nikki, Glow Girl Glow was another person who contacted me, and she was like, I just want to make videos. I'm afraid. And I said, just do it. Next day she was making a video, and now she's going live a couple times a week, inviting people to come on and talk about her budget journey. It's not me, it's her, and we just need this community. So if you're not active in the community, find one or two friends, send me a DM. I will find you a friend. If you live in the Massachusetts area, there you go. If you live in Jersey, I know somebody for you. If you live in Philly, I know somebody for you. And if you live in Georgia and all over, I know somebody probably in every state, and I can get the ball rolling. But the community is so wonderful. That's how I met these two wonderful ladies. I'm going to cry. No. So ladies, leave us with some parting words, whatever you want to share individually, and then we're going to roll out.
Well, thank you, Leslie, for having us on here. It's always fun for all of us to get together. We could talk for this.
I know.
So,
it's our gift.
But thank you. It's really great. We love, meeting everyone and just having everyone give us encouraging words about the podcast and everything too. It's been really great. We enjoy doing it, and we're trying to do different things for you guys, and we want to create this kind of content and have you guys have a chance too to get your name out there and tell people what you do and what you're all about. So, I enjoy that, and I just want everyone to feel comfortable, whether it's watching me on YouTube or engage with me on Instagram or whatever. Like, I'm just a regular person. I'm not anything. I'm just me, and that's just the way I'll.
She's a beautiful her. She is. See, look at that.
Yeah, I just want to kind of go on and just say it's never too late. It's never too late. And sometimes I wish I had started this 10, 15 years ago, when I see some of the younger people who are so hungry and they have like a career lifetime ahead of them, and I get a little discouraged, and then I'm like, you know what, I'm doing it now, and I'm glad that I jumped in when I did, and I wish I had done it sooner. So just, I don't know, I think if it's something, if it keeps you up at night and you're passionate about it, then just go for it.
Yeah,
whatever it is.
Yeah, the only way to start is to start, and the only way to step out of your comfort zone is to take the first step. So that's why I encourage everyone to do. So if you're not following these ladies, I say follow them today. I said that earlier. Stop what you were doing right now. Go off the chat. No more comments, and go follow them. Chronicles of a Reseller, right? Lori Tata, right? And check out Ivy and Blush Bottega, Lori's Boston Found, and Thriftless Villa. So I want to thank you,
so
ladies.
many names to remember.
Thomas think he's like, how do you know all the people's name in the chat? And it's
You're
just
amazing.
I know you ladies, so of course I'm not going to forget. I get tongue tied, but I'm surprised it all came out.
Well, thank you, Leslie. Thank you for bringing
I
us all
love you
together.
so much. I really do. You've humbled me.
you.
It's been such a pleasure. Thank you for taking the time out of your day, everyone. Our friends, thank you for showing up as you always do. We appreciate you so much. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.